watch it.
Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. Tommy, you can laugh now. Go ahead. I'm your host, JC, and I am joined this week by Tommy.
Hey, guys.
And Mike.
Mike, I love wrestling and like Index on a honeymoon. Love always wins.
Okay, that was one of the best segments. I'll give them that.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
That was really good. That was a really good segment.
The 5-minute countdown you guys see before we actually start this show, sometimes it's hilarious, and oftentimes you try and make Tommy laugh right before it ends so he can try to hold it in as the liner plays and the intro music plays and everything like that. So,
But we hadn't done it in so long because like we used to do it when we filmed it at
Pre-record.
JC's house.
Yeah.
When we were WrestleCast 1.0. And Mike would always do something right before JC said, "What's up, guys?" I was like, "That's not fair."
Yeah.
He just said something.
and then off and running, yeah.
Yeah.
Would never do a second take. That was like always the first take.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, WrestleCast 360, I really enjoy this version of it. So,
You know, if there's some positives out of the pandemic, it's the fact the live thing. I think we've enjoyed it. It's gone pretty well, I'd say. You know, for the most part. So.
Yeah.
Today on the WrestleCast, we're going to be previewing Impact's all-women's Impact Plus event this weekend, Knockouts Knockdown. It features a one-night 8-woman tournament, a tag team title match, and a Monsters Ball in memory of Daphne. So that's going to be the main topic of discussion. But prior to that, we unfortunately got some distressing and sad news yesterday. Just in the wrestling world, and mostly around Texas, on the passing of, and while I'm talking, I should be getting the pictures up here, of Jacob Ladder, Steve Amos' real name, a.k.a. Jacob Ladder. If you know us, you know that we're in the San Antonio area, and for a long time, the two big major promotions in San Antonio, the independent scene, were RCW and ACW. Obviously, their tensions were high back then. It seems like so long ago. But it does, right?
Yeah.
Seems a little bit smooth over now, but Ladder was all over Texas. He was a part of it. He helped found ACW with Darren Childs. I'll have some of his comments here to talk about it as well. But he started a wrestling school, and a lot of wrestlers that maybe we see now, some that we knew, all over Texas have had some influence from Jacob Ladder. Obviously, the gimmick itself might have been a bit controversial, but it was in tune to what he was, and it was just real. He was upfront about who he was, but still one of the nicest guys. And you know, before I go any further and kind of spoil what everyone's going to say about him, I'm taking this opportunity for you guys here on the WrestleCast, and if you're watching at home, whether you're seeing us live or you are watching us after the fact, feel free to comment. If you have a favorite memory about Jacob Ladder, something you remember the most about him, feel free to share it. Mike, we'll start with you. Do you have any memories or some favorite matches of yours that from watching Jacob Ladder?
I mean, for me, for the most part, like again, we've mentioned this unfortunately a few times, as many of the people we used to watch have unfortunately passed. But you guys were always a lot better at actually just being friends with these people and talking to them like normal. And, you know, it was never really my personality. I'd, greet them at the shows and say hi or whatever, but never really like try to form friendships with them or anything. But, I remember obviously, yeah, it's controversial, his character, whatever, and how much was him or not, whatever. But, I mean, he was always doing those hardcore matches. And what I kind of always found funny was when he started the school, they would eventually have matches with the students, and he would put them through so much crap and hardcore stuff.
I forgot about that.
Laz's first match, exactly. Yeah. So Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think the statute of limitations on, what was it? The Halloween crew.
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
we knew who they were under the mask. And yeah, they would have their first matches and their first several matches with Ladder and Darren, and he'd get them into hardcore stuff, and yeah, and it was like it was kind of weird at first to kind of see his character, hear some of the things he says, but honestly, everyone who met him, everyone we knew, again, just had nice things to say about him. And yeah, so and for me personally, RCW and ACW really the first two big promotions that we started going to, and I just remember there was, and again, and this is just for my time watching it. We started around 2007. There was just that time where, to me, ACW was what people feel about PWG or what's the name right? Game Changer right now.
Or even ECW back in the day. That was really Darren's goal. He wanted
I know that's what he was trying to emulate.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to compare it to things that are today. But I just mean, like, they brought in such amazing talent. The shows were always so much fun. And they gave you your money's worth and more. And so, in that sense, for our love of wrestling, for now doing this, I'm just thankful for what he was a part of and helped put together. ACW, we never would have seen Bryan Danielson and
Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn.
Seth Rollins, Scotty Riggs came through for a while, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, right. I remember Riggs used to be there. Jimmy Jacobs.
Claudio Castagnoli. Chris
I think
Hero.
he missed that show or didn't. I mean, I know he came through there. I don't think I was at that show or we missed it or whatever. But yeah, just and now Athena, spent a lot of time in there. Now she's Ember Moon, and it was just great. And so I'll always be thankful for that, because those were, just some of the best times going to see live wrestling, and death matches, and fans bringing the weapons, and jumping off balcony at the venue, and just all that crazy stuff.
I remember when we first started going to that place, I said, sooner or later, someone's jumping off that thing. I don't know when, I don't know what match, but what was it, like a year later? I was like, yep, there it goes.
Was it Darren and
it was Darren and JC Bravo under the mask through a table off the balcony.
Yeah.
I think the first to do it was it Awesome Andy? Off the balcony into the ring. I remember that. I think
he did a dive into the ring.
Yeah, he did a dive into the ring. Yeah.
Awesome Andy, man.
Yeah.
See, now we just opened up this...
Open up a can of worms, though.
Yeah. Or not a can of worms, but a can of memories.
Yes. Tommy, any fun memories or matches from Jacob Ladder that you can recall?
So many. Just like you said, the gimmick and how much was him and how much wasn't was it's not for me to say, but I always laughed at that, because it was like, he's this hardcore guy, and who doesn't know I'm a Christian, and like we got along fine. So that was the weirdest part to me. It was like I never felt like oh, this guy's gonna attack me because I'm Christian, because he knew I was. Like, there was no piece of my social media where he didn't see it, so he knew I was. And it was like, but he was always nice to be like, pretty much any Children of Pain match, like, with him and Darren. It was like the second they came out, that's when the shows got real. It was like, it's a fun show, we're all having a good time, Children of Pain's music hits. Well, damn it, there goes the fun, and now people are gonna die for real. So, and it felt like that was like at stake every time. And like you said, beating up the students was.
I like how we call it just beating up the students. That's all we got to say. And
because when you think about it, it was the Minoru Suzuki here. It was like Ladder was our Suzuki. It's like, oh, you're a trainee. Oh, you're a trainee. Oh, good to know. Bang. So, and it was fun. And like talking to him after shows. And like a couple years back, he actually showed up at a BOW show randomly. It was like a 6-man tag, I think, because Richie Garcia asked me if I have any pictures of it. I can't find any. I might have filmed that match. I don't know if I took any picture. I might have filmed it. So I got to go back and check to see if I filmed it. And he asked me, he said, "Do you have any picture of me?" I was like, "No, I don't think so." I think it was a 6-man tag with like him and Marvel and some other guys. You know, like it felt like a mid 2000s San Antonio wrestling reunion show almost. I was like I could close my eyes and swear I was at either ACW or RCW just now. Anyway, but it was just cool to see him, and he remembered me. You know, he's like, hey, how you doing, man? What's going on and everything. So yeah, I got the message a couple of days ago before it really broke on social media. Someone messaged me and said, had you heard? And I was like, had I heard what? And then they told me, and I was it just completely like blew my mind, because I remember Scott Summers that he wasn't doing well, and he didn't elaborate, and I was like, that's fine, you don't have to elaborate. I was just like, hope he's okay, and then I didn't hear anything else. And that's when I heard the news.
From updates his wife had posted on his Facebook, it sounds like it was COVID. Nothing's been confirmed, but it sounds like he was in a pretty bad place, and that's where Scott Summers was confirmed. I did see that Facebook Live, and I was like, oh no, not another one. We've lost so many in this pandemic. Some to the pandemic, some otherwise, and it's been hard. It's been hard dealing with this. For me personally, I'll say my favorite match, at least the one that's the most memorable, was there's a couple. There's the fans bring the weapons at ACW. It was just him against Darren. They're actually in a tag. They were tag team champions at the time, but they were just doing it for the hell of it. And some of the weapons people brought, and I remember once he hit him with something, I don't even know what it was, and he just like shrugged after he hit him. I was like, okay, whatever, it worked. I remember the first time I saw him wrestle though was actually at a TWE show that was running on Super Bowl Sunday at the Al Safar Shrine. Let me get to it.
Okay,
that show, I mean, the big thing about that show, and the only reason we had heard about it was because we had gone to an RCW show and they had flyered up the parking lot. This was the Royal Rumble weekend that they were going to have Chris Sabin at the show. Hail Sabin. And years later, Sabin was never booked. It was just something they did to get people in the door. It was pretty shady, but then again, that's Rudy Boy. Anyway, the show itself, I mean, it was paled in comparison to what we had seen so far. It was kind of Scott Summers was on it. I remember him just beating up the guy that was in front of him, mad because he had to wrestle on Super Bowl. That's what he kept yelling, like, I'm working on the fucking Super Bowl, But it was kind of a slow show.
Sounds like Scott. It's hilarious.
The show kind of died because at the beginning they announced that Chris Sabin's not going to be there, and whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm new to the independent scene. Let me give this a chance. And all I remember about the very end, here come the hardcore stuff. Here comes Darren Childs and Jacob Ladder, and they just beat the shit. I don't remember them. I think Big Dog's one of the opponents. I have no idea. And they just beat the shit out of him, and it was just
I gotta see if I can find footage of this now.
That was my introduction to the Children of Pain, and that is where I first heard about. Yeah. That's where I first heard about ACW, and a few months later, my very first ACW show was actually co-promoted with IWA Mid South. It was Sunday Bloody Sunday. That was Loki Hernandez.
Oh, you weren't at the very first show before that?
No.
No, that was our first one. We went there. We went together.
I could have swore you guys were okay.
We had been going to we stayed going to RCW.
Yeah,
but then
I thought.
Yeah,
I could have swore you guys were at that first show with me. Okay.
No.
It's like me with the podcast. I wasn't there for the first one, but eventually.
I guess I was like, but I could have swore you guys were in that show.
Yeah, but I mean that was the first time that the introduction was like, wow, that's the first time I've seen the venue. Necro Butcher and Masada, Jesus Christ! I think
they booked some top, especially for that time frame, because they got a lot of guys from Japan too. I know BB Hulk came through.
He came through ACW later. We got to see him against Legit.
Yeah, I remember BB Hulk coming in.
Yeah.
AT was it Milano?
Milano AT.
Yeah. Milano Collection AT. Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing that's where my introduction to Ladder was, and seeing him, and now the whole Satanist thing, that wasn't a gimmick. That's what he felt. That's what he believed. And it, you saw that persona in the ring, and it was such a different guy outside of it. And I asked my wife Tina, I go, what do you remember most about Jacob Ladder? Do you have any memories you'd want me to share? And she goes, he always just scared the shit out of me. Because here I am.
A logical conclusion to come to when you think about Jacob.
And she was always like, he was this Satanist guy. He's got these tattoos, the gimmick and everything, and I was how I was conservative Catholic. But then like the first time I actually talked to him was when we started dating, and you were talking to him, and I was like, okay, hi, but he was a real nice guy. And with Ladder, I could always talk football with the guy.
Yeah.
He was a hardcore Atlanta Falcons fan,
I believe it.
but
I
he
believe
loved
it.
the sport of football, like so much so he coached his son Sterling up through, and I think Sterling now is in the Navy, but he coached him up through high school, and that was pretty cool to see them, still follow on social media. One other memory I have. This one, granted, I had that persona about him. He was still a face, even though he did the Satanist. He was a Satanist and put that in his wrestling.
He was cheered out the building multiple times.
But he was the nicest guy to talk to, just in wrestling or otherwise. When somebody mentioned that they were looking to get into wrestling, somebody at work, I gave him his Ladder's number. I said, hey, this guy I gave him your information because he's looking to wrestle, with you, or just learning how to train. And that's where he contacted him. And, but when he turned, I remember his heel turn. I don't know if you guys remember this. They were doing a double shot back-to-back show in January 2008, I believe it was.
Mm.
And he did a thing where he got injured the night before in a match. And really sold it, because the next day he was in crutches and everything, and that's when he turned heel.
Yeah, I remember that
And
now.
he went hardcore with it, because then he ended up wrestling Scott Summers, I think beating Scott Summers for the title. But Tommy, he laid into you with some pretty racist insults.
He did.
He's
remember
like,
that now.
hey guys,
I remember that.
shouldn't you be sleeping? The march is tomorrow. That's an important day for you. I remember that.
Remember that now.
It was the first
I
time.
completely forgot that happened. I remember that now because I was like, oh, he won't this, because it wasn't a phrase then. I was like, oh, he won't this smoke is what he won't. I was like, all right, cool. Because he did. Because I remember thinking that injury was for real.
Yeah.
Yes,
I thought
he
was
sold it
injured.
so well the next day.
He sold that. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah.
He was one of those dudes that I remember I could really go in on, and he could give it right back. I remember because it's funny because with guys I know, we do that. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like Jacobs Pliskin was another guy who would do that kind of.
Pliskin.
He would do that kind of racist stuff to me, and I was like, I don't care. And people would be like, man, we're like, that's racist. I was like, I know him. I don't give a damn. So it's like, like I told you, my constant joke was, yeah, he can say whatever he wants. I'm the only reason ACW won't get sued by affirmative action. At least there's one black guy in this building. So that was my joke because when they first started, for like the first few months, I was like, okay, there's white people and Hispanic people in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only black guy. Okay, fine. I represented the NAACP all by my damn self. So.
Yeah.
And now look at Texas wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that too, because that's the first time I've seen Tommy legitimately pissed off, because your response was pretty angry.
Yeah. I think I was more mad that he fooled us with the injury. I was like, you son of a bitch,
Yeah.
I'm bad for you. So,
I ended up with the title that night.
Stuff. I thought you were hurt for real.
But that heel turn and his speech and everything, pin drop. It was dead silent.
Yeah.
Everybody was in shock.
Man,
That was one of the most. That was probably one of the most.
He did the racist thing. Everyone was like, whoa.
Yeah. There's Brandon right there joining us. I forgot about the racist promos. There he is. Bernsey, hey, what's up?
I remember his retirement promo.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, we were talking about, his being a Satanist. It was kind of weird. But because I'm pretty sure it was at the venue. I think he kept wrestling after this. But he retired for a while. And he's, looking up at the sky and, flicking off and, saying, I'm just like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, that was always weird whenever he did that.
Yeah. If you guys have any memories of Jacob Ladder, please feel free to share. Let him know in the comments here. But that one stands out to me. That was probably the most shocking heel turn, I think, in ACW's history. At least the one that I remember the most. Some other stories about him that I can recall. God, what escapes me? He told us a story once about how he got booked for a show, and it was supposed to be a tournament. I was like, okay, it's a good payday, whatever. Well, he got there, and he didn't realize it's an MMA tournament. And he had no idea, but he was like, okay, well, I need the money. You keep winning, you get
Well,
paid
yeah.
more money, right? So his first match, he's thrown in there, and a guy runs at him, and he literally just did a drop toe hold and got the guy in a rear naked choke and won the match. And that's how he choked him out. And the second...
That's amazing.
That is awesome. And then the second match, it was like a one-night MMA. He just got he got knocked the fuck out, basically, is what he told us. So he got knocked out. I was like, yeah, that's probably the first concussion I ever had was that one. And, he dealt with that stuff. Yeah. So...
It's the man who just lived on hardcore matches, and that's the first time he gets the concussion.
It's the first one he can at least recall, like, getting, like legit knocked out.
Yeah,
Was,
wow.
Think about Mick Foley. He never had one until Hell in a Cell. And it's like, how was that remotely possible? You wrestled at FMW. You didn't get one until Hell in a Cell happened.
Yeah, I guess you had everything else broken on your body except you did.
Yeah.
I guess God was like, okay, Mick, all that's left is your brain. I've been trying to transform you your entire life, but fine, there. Boom.
I literally took your ear at one point.
Yeah.
And you keep doing this stuff. I remember there was a DVD that I never did get, but I always wanted to. I don't know if it's still available somewhere. It was like just about road diary. It was essentially like a road diaries of wrestlers, and he was on it because they were promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just remember thinking, I was like, I guess to me it just never occurred to me at that point. How often they have to drive hours and hours to wrestle, like what? 10 minutes, maybe.
Was this a local DVD? It's not the Cabana one, right?
It's not like a battle. It was a local one.
Oh, okay,
It was a local production that just followed them around for like a month. Maybe?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I kind of forget the
I
name of
gotta
it.
find it.
It's on YouTube somewhere, at least like the promo for it.
Yeah.
Okay, did him and Darren also have in that feud, or did it end with the 3 stages of hell match or something? Do I remember it? Or 3 something?
I want to say it did, and I want to say it took place throughout the night.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Like, they had 3 matches during the night. Or it might have been all at once. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I know they had some kind of 3-way...
three match thing.
Thing, yeah. They were just trying to finish it,
Because his last time at Ladder was at BOW and showed Tommy... Tommy is a BAN video.
That's when he showed Vex's video.
Yeah.
Of what Vex about the song. Oh yeah, he did laugh at that. Wait a minute, that jackass. I'm kidding. I miss him like crazy.
Some memories here. Richie Garza, R.I.P. to the man who took me in like a little brother, who was always there for me professionally or personally, always believed in me. Steve, Jacob Ladder, love you, brother. Will never forget you. Always keep me in your heart, and I hope I made/make you proud. And I promise to always be there for Ashley and Sterling. Till we meet again in that great stadium in the sky. Rest in power. Love you. Then Laz, and Laz is a good friend of ours, good friend of mine, especially when we got started going to wrestling shows. And he trained under Ladder. He wrestled for a little while as Chingo Smurf, if people remember him. He no longer wrestles now, but Laz, I have to say, is a pretty devout Christian. And so, this is, I preface that by reading what he put on Facebook. Sad to hear about the passing of Steve Amos, aka Jacob Ladder, a wrestler, trainer, mentor, and friend. At the time, I was a lost 23-year-old trying to figure out what to do with life, and he trained myself and a few others in 2007, 2008. Even though we had different beliefs, he still trained and mentored me. My first match was against him, as you can see in the picture, and I was there for that. He beat the shit out of him. Was against him, as you can see in the picture. He made my sister, brother-in-law, and my niece believe he was really my enemy, and then confused because they saw us backstage talking and laughing afterwards. I hadn't spoken to you in a while, but I always know that I always had you in my prayers, and I'm grateful to have known you. Love you, kind sir. Rest in peace. Another funny story about Laz is that he told me this, is that Mike, you were there, so that weekend that we went to Victory Road, that Hernandez had gotten us the tickets. Obviously, both nights we had gone to that hotel, and all the talent was hanging out there and everything. So the first night was there, Laz got to talk a bit to Abyss. And they started talking, and you asked him who trained you, and he said Jacob Ladder. Oh, Steve, he's a good guy. And they were just chatting away about him, like Abyss knew him. And he says, awesome. Before he left, he's like, say hi to Steve for me. Just kind of give him a pat on the back and everything. So Abyss, by the way, nicest guy. Outside of the ring, too. Final one I want to share is definitely Darren Childs, which for many of us, if you think of Jacob Ladder, you think of Darren Childs. There's no one in the world I spent more time with than Jacob Ladder, maybe excluding my ex-wife, my current wife, and Skylar Skelly. We traveled the country and became one of the more prolific independent tag teams of our time. He and I were on a mission to make Texas relevant. On a random, sleep-deprived trip from Atlanta, Ladder and I started brainstorming the sessions that led to us founding Anarchy Championship Wrestling. We changed the state, we changed the world, and we changed perceptions. We did so much together. Ladder was the one that held me up emotionally when my mom died, and we traveled to some ridiculous far promotion in the Southeast. Ladder was my brother. Vex was my brother. Daphne was my sister. My heart hurts, but we must cherish and celebrate those that we love. Don't forget to tell the people you love them that you love them before it's too late. So, I was kind of on my phone waiting to see what he would say when he found out the news, and I couldn't think. And that was, how often did we really want to see the Children of Pain versus the Texas Streets, or the Children of Pain versus the Hard Bodies? Like, I would always think in my head, like, you know what? If I ever booked like a one-time show just for the hell of it, for charity or whatever, my opening match was going to be Darren Childs versus Joey Specter. And towards the end of it, Eddie Dalton would come in and start teaming up, and then Ladder would come in and make a save, and they would just leave it at that. Just these two, I wouldn't want to wouldn't want to pick a winner, but I wanted to have that moment to open the show.
You do.
Yeah.
You want the COP to beat the crap out of both of those guys.
Maybe, yeah, but I thought that would have been a cool moment to start a show.
It would have ended in a no contest, and then the COP would have just beat them back to the locker room area. Just slugging them in the back all the way to the locker room area.
They would have APA'd the what was it, grunge and Rocco Rockin' the grunge.
The Public Enemy.
There you go.
Yeah.
They would have APA'd them.
Yeah, I always thought that'd be a fun way to start off a random, like just a one-off show, just for the hell of it. So,
That'd have been fun.
Ladder, there, I think it's safe to say you left your mark.
For sure.
I always did want to interview you, and I was hoping to maybe eventually set up some time, but this stuff happened, and it sucks because there's a lot of people I would love to interview, and trying to work that out, it's difficult. But one thing I always ask anyone I do interview is, what do you want your legacy in wrestling to be? And I would hope you would, whatever that may be, I want you to know that you left an imprint on this business, especially in Texas. Whether it's the people you trained, the people you wrestled against, the people you booked even. There's a lot of people in this business that are on one level or another thankful that you were a part of it in their lives. I know your belief system. I don't know where that may take in the afterlife. Maybe we'll see each other down the road. And sure, you can turn on Shout at the Devil because when that music played, shit was going down, right? So, but thank you for all the memories. Thank you for so much. It's amazing when wrestlers pass how many people come out of the woodwork just to say what they need to say because that person impacted that much, and he's no different. So, rest in peace, Dave Amos. Rest in peace, Jacob Ladder. To the family and friends of Ladder, we're thinking of you. We wish you all the best, and it's a trying time. I know his son, who we love very much, was always proud of his son, who's serving in the Navy right now. So I don't know where exactly he is, but I hope I hope the news doesn't take too long to get to him because this is something pretty important. And Sterling, I think you already know this, but your dad was very proud of you. Ladder, the only thing I can say about you football-wise is I'm sorry that your Falcons did not get a Super Bowl that you can recall seeing in the recent lifetime. They came close, but we know what happened against the Patriots, man. So, but it was one of those guys, too, that I could always just have a little back and forth with when the Titans played him. And so I'll be thinking of you in 2 years when the Titans are playing the Falcons. But till then, rest in peace, and we'll miss you. So, all right. Thank you guys for taking that time. And again, if you're watching this after the fact, if you have any memories, favorite matches, I know Russ put up one that he had, one of his favorites. You look it up, Jacob Ladder versus Abdullah the Butcher. Apparently that was one of Ladder's favorites, if you can imagine that. Russ put that link up, Showtime put that link up on Facebook. You probably search for it on YouTube and find it as well.
Okay, I might have to look that up. I don't think I've thought of it.
Yeah.
So, all right. We're going to move into the main topic of the show, which is the Knockouts Knockdown, a one-night only all-women's show that Impact has put together this weekend. It's going to be on Impact Plus. Now, there's going to be a grand total of 9 matches on the card, but 7 of those are going to be part of a 8-woman tournament, single elimination, where the winner will get a title shot at Deonna Purrazzo, possibly at Bound for Glory. I don't know, or because they haven't set Deonna Purrazzo's opponent yet, have they?
No.
I don't think they have, right?
Wait, when's the Mickey James? Was he supposed to fight Mickey James?
Is it going to be at Bound for Glory? Because that's
I don't
in a couple
know.
weeks.
Maybe it's in a couple weeks. I don't know. I remember hearing that's a match though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's really only 3 things we're going to talk about. We're talking about the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. We'll talk about the tournament itself. And we're going to talk about a Daphne Memorial Monsters Ball match, which the participants haven't been revealed yet. I don't know if they're going to reveal them on Thursday on Impact. We don't know how many it's going to be. We know Impact, we'll just throw whatever, We'll sleep deprive so many people for so long, right? So.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll start with the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Decay made up of Havoc and Rosemary. What's up, Mike?
Actually, I was gonna say I'm sorry, but just looking at what you have, let's talk about real quick what you have as far as who's.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
the show and all that,
I meant to mention that. I completely skipped.
Because I think
over
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So as far as who's on hand to, and I think I have a graphic here for it. I hope I did put it up. No, I forgot to put it up. Damn it! I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Oh no. Anyway,
But all of us probably have plenty of pictures with at least the play-by-play person, so I'm sure we can find one of them.
Oh,
let me
I'm
grab it real
I'm
quick. You guys
looking-
talk. Go ahead. You're checking on
looking at
that.
this list, and I have pictures with a number of people on this list.
You probably have pictures with like all of them
I don't have one with all of them. I like
at the
for
same
instance,
time, but
for instance, I have not met Mickey James yet.
wow.
Chelsea Green.
I've met.
I've met Rachel Ellering.
I've met Mercedes. I think that's the only one I've met. So.
You
And Veda Scott. I met Veda Scott too, yeah. I have that graphic up, so I'll share it here. Ring announcing is going to be Melissa Santos. The play-by-play is going to be Veda Scott. And Mickey James will be the color analyst for this event, which is pretty cool.
That's a pretty underrated. Like, I don't know if y'all have heard some of Veda Scott. She's been doing trying to do a lot more ring announcing for shows, but I've seen cover stuff because another one that we know of because of ACW Queen of Queens tournament, and she's just hilarious. Seen her wrestle several times. She's also trying to do some other stuff. Just real good. So I mean, I think her and Mickey James should be a pretty good play-by-play. A booth, color analyst for that.
I think so for sure. It's the fact that she's like hilarious, but also like really smart with it. Like she's actually super knowledgeable in wrestling. So she's a great play-by-play person.
I think if I remember kayfabe, she was like about to become a lawyer. Was that her or something like that?
I think
Ada
so.
Scott? Yeah, something like that.
I think so.
Like she was in law school or something when she first started. So
yeah,
crazy stuff.
Brandon says no, it's Mickey. So yeah, Mickey James is doing the Bound for Glory match apparently. So
Okay, yeah.
You never know. Someone could call their shot and run out and challenge her. Or Deonna could be like, or Deonna could get arrogant and say, "I'll face anyone else right now after beating her." And like the music hits, and I don't know.
Well,
Supergirl. I don't know. I'm out of people who I think Deonna Purrazzo would lose against. At this point, an actual Kryptonian is the only one I think could defeat her.
I mean, what if they actually add whoever wins this tournament to that match? I mean, that's a possibility too, right? So
That'd be cool too. I'd be down.
Minoru Suzuki in a wig. It'll work.
First of all, Minoru Suzuki would wear a wig, but he absolutely would fight a chick, and he would.
Of course he would. Of course he would.
You need to. I don't know if you guys have ever seen his matches against like Kana, the current Asuka, or like some of the other women in Japan. Dude, he doesn't give a.
I have seen clips. I haven't seen full matches.
He
I've seen
don't
clips.
give a damn, bro. It's like, hey, if you agree to this match, I'm gonna hit you like I would a dude. So actually, in that way, you can say Suzuki's pretty progressive. He doesn't care what your gender is. He's gonna beat the crap out of you. Not binary, cool. I'll beat them up too. So.
All right, Brandon says Veda is a better talker in promo. She's a law major. So, yeah, I think you were on there. Yeah, she was going. So,
nice.
Now, the Knockouts Tag Team Championship, Decay, Havoc, and Rosemary taking on the Influence, made up of Madison Rain and Tennille Dashwood. Tommy, we'll start with you. Where are you going with this one?
I refuse to ever bet against Decay. It has my alternate reality ex-wife, and the person who, if I was captured by and tormented, I wouldn't mind that much. And Rosemary, so yeah.
You know, I was going to ask you, Tommy, just go through the whole list of participants and just how many alternate universe ex-wives are on the show.
Counting the play-by, are we counting the commentary team as well?
Everybody involved, sure.
Okay, cool. Real quick. So we got Veda Scott, Havoc, Rosemary, Mercedes Martinez. I know everyone's about to say. I know that she is, and no, I don't care. Tasha Steeles, Renee Michelle too for sure. Brandy Lauren, boom.
So in other words, yes.
Yes.
So on the show, yes.
Yeah.
The show, yes. Hey, first of all, let's pretend like any of us were single, and if any of the people on this show was like, "Hey, are you free for dinner ever?" and like the answer would not be yes. Come on.
You're completely right. Yes.
Thank you. I just want some validation this evening.
On the next episode of Tommy, What If, right? So,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm a fan fiction writer.
Yeah.
That's called what I do on a regular basis.
Mike, where are you going with this tag title match?
Yeah, I'm with Tommy. I'm going to go with the K. I don't, want to bet against them. And there's Madison Rain and Tennille Dashwood are great wrestlers, so, good characters and stuff, but Havoc and Rosemary are just so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah.
I feel like they've been toying with this idea of her joining Decay for like the longest time, and now just felt like the perfect time to do it with Nevaeh. She decided to, part ways with Impact for whatever reason. I'm not saying that's a bad decision because Godspeed to her. Hope she, because wrestling's pretty wide right now. When people leave a company, it's not the end of their career anymore. It's like even if they just stay on the indies, that's still plenty of money to be made between like AAW and all those other places. So
yeah. Ninja, it's official for Bound for Glory. I'm assuming he's talking about Perazo and Mickey James, and I recommend watching the barn brawl they had at Mickey's farm. I need to be catching back up. This is softball t-ball life. It's just messing me up.
I missed that happening too. I need to go back and find this. I'm heavily invested now.
Yes, me too. All right, the Knockouts Knockdown tournament again for the number one contender for Deonna Purrazzo's Knockouts Championship, and I assume since this won't be happening Bound for Glory, it probably shortly after.
Are you there? You are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was weird.
We were just recapping the World War II strategies of Northern Germany.
Okay, so y'all didn't hear any of the names I read. There, that sucks.
No.
All right.
The funny part is the stream is moving again too. The stream actually stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's something on mine too. I'll read them again. Here we go. Let's see if you guys don't freeze. Mercedes Martinez, Chelsea Green. Stop it, Mike. Renee Michelle, Lady Frost, Jamie Senegal, Tasha Steeles, Rachel Ellering, and Brandy Lauren. That's the 8 participants. No idea what the first round matchups are going to be. So here's what we're going to do. I just want you guys to tell me who you think the final will be and who you think's going to win.
Yes.
No, truth be told, I would love the final to be Mercedes Martinez and Tasha Steeles.
Same for me. Yeah.
I would love it if Mercedes won because, come on, man! I am so sick of this. I'm so sick of this. To me, her and Eddie Kingston have this parallel career path. They are both two of the best ever do it. There is no way they can't have a good match. You can learn from these people. They can be locker room leaders, but no one wants to hire them. It's like, why? And then when she finally got WWE, I was like, okay, fine, screw it, I'll take it. She's getting paid. I'll good for her. And then they released her. I'm like, no. Out of everyone you could have released, even Maria's back, but Mercedes has to go. No one can give me logic there. You cannot. It is impossible. And look, let's be practical when it comes to guys. Well, she doesn't like guys anyway. Yeah, like you give a damn. You don't even care. So, man, I mean, I don't understand this. I don't understand where this comes from. It's like she's so good. She's so good in the ring. It's like each time she came to San Antonio, it was a big deal. Like it was like oh, they said Mercedes Martinez. That was our version of the Undertaker. Whenever RCW would book her, it was like she was gonna beat somebody up, male or female, usually male.
Usually Joey Specter, but yeah.
You know, on a random side note that has nothing to do with what you're talking about, other than you were talking about Mercedes Martinez. What you said about her is the same way I kind of feel about Sonya Deville.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I know, but yeah, she's really hot. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I throw that in.
Too.
Had nothing to do with anything.
I did you hear me say that? Oh no, you shouldn't have brought. No, you completely are in the right to bring that up. You're right, good sir, and I find nothing wrong with your statement whatsoever. So.
I have there's three names I could see in the final. There's Mercedes Martinez, Chelsea Green, and Tasha Steelz.
That's actually because y'all haven't gotten to me yet.
Yeah. Go ahead, Michael. For it.
I was going to go Mercedes and Chelsea actually.
Yeah.
Instead of Tasha.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I feel like Chelsea has gotten keeps on the edge of getting all this momentum, and then things happen, and she's doing pretty well with I was going to say Zack Ryder, but him and teaming with Cardona and stuff, and kind of showing that they're together on there. So
yeah.
But I'm with y'all too with Mercedes as far as I mean, I don't know if you heard the recent stories about kind of why she didn't jump up with Disruption after all. It wasn't just completely because it was a dumb gimmick, which would have totally been a valid reason. Mm-hmm. But there was also some health things
I didn't know that.
Involved. Yeah, because of her and some people in her life that are immunocompromised type thing.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
So she's playing it safe and staying back in the NXT, which is the smart thing to do.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
So
I feel. Oh, sorry.
You guys are both saying Mercedes will win it all, or you guys haven't picked that yet? So
I'm gonna go with Mercedes, like y'all.
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
well, I haven't said mine yet,
but I want her to win. So
I feel like Chelsea could be in the finals, but I feel like she's being more of like a women's wrestling ambassador.
Yeah.
Like kind of showing up everywhere. I mean, if she wins it all, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, honestly, there's not really a bad choice in this one at all, really. But it's like if she wins it all, great for her. But I feel like she's just kind of like being the the spokesperson for women's wrestling across the world, which 100% I am totally for. Like if you could, it's hard to do better, and you could do way worse. So.
My mind keeps going to Tasha Steelz just for the way that they have really built her up so much since Kiera Hogan left for AEW. They've really given her something like, I think we were talking about this maybe a week or two ago. She could potentially be the homegrown talent that beats Deonna Purrazzo. And maybe this is how you at least get her. I don't know if you get her in the position where she could beat her now, but at least give her a run for her money, and then you build back up to doing that sometime next year, So my mind, for whatever reason, my heart keeps thinking, maybe go with your gut, and I'm going to say Tasha Steelz.
You could also just make the argument that Tasha Steelz could just be like the perfect heel persona, because I feel like Deonna Purrazzo is like Britt Baker and like Bayley. They want her to be a heel, yes. She's too good. So,
exactly.
It's like it'd be easier to hate her if she wasn't absolutely flawless in the ring.
Seriously.
Like with Britt Baker, I will say is flawless, but I will say I can't think of anyone. Maybe I'll say Dominic Mysterio, who worked harder to get better in the past year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When you said that name for a split second, I was like, "Where is he going with this?" 'Cause we were talking about women's stuff, and I was like, "Okay, makes sense, fine."
Yeah.
I don't like people who people didn't have the best opinion of at the beginning of like maybe
Sure,
you could say
sure.
2020 and like took that entire year instead of just like walling it just to push through and get better. But I get what you mean. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it until after you said it, so that's.
I just could you imagine if you're like outside of Takira Azawa, you're like, "What?"
Fair enough.
Sorry, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're right. Like,
It's
she
hilarious.
she really has from like when you first kind of saw her. I know there. I think Naya put something out a while back, kind of joking how she squatted and like really. I was like, "Oh, he's really paying attention to my words," and oh, he's frozen.
Legit, I was. Then it froze. It's like, God damn it, what's going on here? I don't know what's.
I don't know where we left off, but I was just saying I agreed to. And yes, Deanna Purrazzo. I know JC, you've said a lot about when she left NXT and talked about she just wasn't given the chance. She knew she could shine, and then she has. So yeah, just 100% there. With what Tommy was saying about these women who have really put in a lot of work, and just made themselves great.
All right, let's try at least talk through this Monsters Ball before we freeze up again here. The Monsters Ball, all we know is that this is in memory of Daphne. We don't know who's going to be a participant of it. I know Daphne was involved in a couple of these, or a few of these, right? I mean, there was
I think so, or versions of them with hardcore matches and stuff.
There was the Taylor Wilde one. There was Taylor Wilde and Abyss versus Daphne and Raven. And I think those are really the only two, right? Were those the main two? I don't know if there's any others.
I think it's an actual Monsters Ball.
Yeah.
But I know she was involved in several other hardcore style matches that were along those lines, but may not have been in the actual
Monsters Ball.
In the cage, or in the Monsters Ball.
I think whatever what I don't think she was in it, but like Abyss versus somebody. I'm trying to figure out who it was.
I think it was Abyss and Mick Foley. No, wasn't she involved in that?
I think that was it.
I think that's the one where she got the injury that she was never able to recover from fully.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I'm trying to find it because there's a list of them here. Well, she was in the first ever one, and then she was in a mixed tag version.
I think. Let me see.
They don't have her listed.
So
I think it was the Mick Foley one because it was a Bound for Glory, and Stevie Richards was the guest referee.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think they were still aligned at that point. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'll say about this is just looking at and thinking about who would be in it. It feels like definitely someone from Decay, whether it's Rosemary Havoc or they're together in some sort of team. That kind of seems right up their alley. I don't know if they're going to bring other people in because I'm kind of looking at just who we have listed in the tag team and and in the tournament. I think Mercedes Martinez could go in that if they asked her to. Yeah. And some of these other ones, but again, just right off the bat, to connect to that kind of hardcore, kind of darker goth edge that Daphne had, I think Decay would definitely have some part in that. One of them or both of them.
Right.
I remember reading someone saying it's a shame because kind of like Impact is where she got hurt with the concussion in the first place, but someone pointed out it's like but Impact was under a different guard then.
It was under the old guard.
Yeah, it was under this wasn't even when Jarrett was really running it. Really, it was like kind of in between that weird place, and it's sad that stigma is kind of on the new Impact for what happened then. But again, this is a totally different regime that's running the company now. This is like Scott D'Amore, who I know for a fact if that had happened like within the last year or so, she'd have been like taken care of off TV for a while, checked every other day probably to see if she was okay.
Right.
I'm at a loss. I don't even know who could potentially be in this. I like that this is closing the show though. Might be emotional in
I'm sure we'll be.
Yeah, I'm curious how hardcore it's gonna get. So
I don't know if there's a glare on that, but another one of the shirts I got when I said last week I had bought a couple.
Nice.
It's her with her Catch Me's, which I know she the cat she had lost the cat last year, and I remember she was very emotional about that because
Yeah. I remember that now.
yeah, it was like it was like her family because it was like her pet. So
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm glad they're doing this. Like you said, the old stigma that kind of connects to some of that stuff, but she. If you followed her, you know her from WCW, and you know her from TNA and Impact, and then of course us had the privilege of seeing her a lot at ACW and stuff.
I always find it weird how people like whenever I would look online and said, "Oh wow, I hadn't seen Daphne in so long," and I was like thinking, "We saw her for years at a time." And I was thinking, "Dude, that was just us," and that threw me off every time. I was like, "Wait, that was just us in San Antonio and Austin. We didn't like."
It was that, and then she did Shimmer, right? And
she did Shimmer,
and like a few small things like that. Yeah.
It shot when they had the first Women of Honor championship. She was like in the
Right.
crowd. I think she presented the belt to Sumi Sakai,
Yeah.
I think.
I want to say
Yeah.
So. It's gonna be a fun event to look forward to, and if you haven't gotten Impact Plus, highly recommend it. $7.99 a month. I don't know if they have any sort of free trial, but there is such a big video library on there. I think they also have I don't know. How WWE Network has like the table for three. They do have a Knockouts round table featuring ODB, Gail Kim. There's just a bunch that pop in there. I don't know if Mickey James was in there too. Christy Hemme, and they just talk about some of the stuff that they got the Knockouts division going, and really talking about how it all began really for them. We've said many times on this show, they were really where the women's revolution began on televised wrestling. It was because of the Knockouts division. So happy to see they're getting an all-woman show, and I'm really looking forward to it. This is going to be fun to watch on Impact Plus. I'll have all the details a little bit later on. So now everyone's kind of made a big deal about the WWE draft. We're not going to talk about it just yet.
Are they?
Huh?
Oh.
Kind of.
Did they?
But we're going to mention it in a couple weeks because the rosters as they were pre-draft are still holding. The new rosters won't take effect until after Crown Jewel. So, mind you guys, just...
yeah, I also thought it was weird that, like, people got drafted to the show they were already on.
Okay, thank you. I was thinking that too. I was like, aren't they already on Raw and SmackDown?
It's almost like they threw everybody back in a pool and then just, okay, go.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I didn't pay attention that much to it, so maybe they did.
That's my guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense, but I don't feel like that was said. But again, I didn't pay close attention. I didn't really watch all of Raw. I just saw later on who got moved and who was going where. And then I know they do this to keep you watching their content, but I feel like it's really insulting to some of their talent to like be like on the talkie or the Raw talk or whatever it is. Oh, we announced some more drafts. Oh, here's text or text. Here's some tweets with some more people that are moving. Like, if you don't have enough respect for their character to do it on your TV show, like, come on, man. Like, that just tells you have too many people on your roster still.
Yeah.
Even after all their releases, which says something.
And splitting up the New Day again, which made zero sense.
That's what it was. Big E said it. He said it on.
Xavier Woods said it. They both were like, that makes zero sense.
Okay,
Woods said it too, because it was like, what?
Why? What's the point? There were a lot of tag teams they split, from what I understand too.
Yeah, and the news was that no one, like most of the talent, didn't know, like they've always done in the past. Like most talent didn't know where they were going to go. So
I'm so mad because Hit Row is supposed to go to SmackDown, and it's like I like them, and it's because it's mainly because of Swerve. I was a fan of Swerve back in the Russell Circus days when he first came here. I got to meet him. He was a cool guy to talk to. He's very, very, he's very, very appreciative of the opportunities he's given and everything like that. And it's like when he got Hit Row, I was like, all right, cool. He's gonna do stuff. And then he won the North American Championship. All right, cool. He's gonna do stuff. And then he has to vacate that now. They're going to SmackDown. And all I think is, please don't break up this group. Please don't break up this group.
Vince just did this.
There are so many solid African American factions. We have so many now. Do not ruin one of them.
Vince just did this to counteract the Acclaim on AEW.
Yeah,
they're just going to be doing insult rap soon.
And to counteract Shane Taylor Promotions since he's so big on Twitter right now.
All right, guys. We'll move into now our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something for us this week?
I actually don't.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't watched as much wrestling the past week or so, other than AEW for some of their bigger matches. But yeah, I'm good.
All right, Tommy. You got a G1 update for us or something? What you got?
Actually, I have one. Let me make absolutely sure.
I'm undefeated. Sorry, it's under my throat. Let me get some water.
Go for it.
You know what? Just you know what? Just start the damn clock.
Okay, ready, set, and go.
Anyway, before I start really interrupting, apparently there has been a very big shakeup, and a friend of mine was not happy. I'm looking to make sure it's right, but I think Chase Owens actually pinned Tanahashi.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. So
It did happen.
So if you want to talk shocking upsets in the G1, I don't think they get much bigger than Owens pinning Tanahashi. Now, so Michael, yeah, Cobb is still undefeated so far in the G1. He has beaten.
Oh, really?
He's beaten Goto,
Awesome.
Owens,
I didn't-
Taichi, beat Tamatonga. It was his latest.
I haven't heard that. That's cool.
Oh.
And he beat Yoshihashi, which that's not fair because everyone kind of beats Yoshihashi. So, but at the current standing, Jeff Cobb and Okada are tied at 10 points each. They haven't faced each other yet, which I'm guessing will be the rubber match for Block B.
Yeah.
In Block A, it's tied between Sabre, Great Okan, Kenta, and Kota Ibushi. They're all at 8 points. And,
Where's Toriano? That's all I fucking care about right now.
Tony Yano's actually at 6.
I was
He's
like,
right
he
underneath
he's
everyone
one-
else.
It's not far away. Not far away.
I
God damn
can't
it.
stand that Toriano has this many points.
How many has he got?
He's got 6. Cause
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see who he's beaten. Yano. He beat Kenta. He beat Tongaloa, and he technically beat Naito because Naito's out of it. But yeah, it's like he beat Kenta. It's like what are we doing? What are we doing? Toriano beat Kenta.
But you just said the names at the top of the block. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your minute warning. But I just if like WWE had the guts to do a tournament like this with like Reigns and Lashley and Big E, in blocks, so they have to face each other, have actual results. Like you were like Kenta, Ibushi, all these guys, Okada, Cobb, all at the top. Ah, man, that's just...
You know what? Let's throw it out there. This should be the new Survivor Series.
Should.
This would spice up Survivor Series. I'm just throwing it out there. But yeah.
That's kind of how the G1 started. Let me tell you, because like the original G1 Climax started because like it was their top local talent going against pretty much facing like their top gaijin because they were trying to like figure out who was superior. So because the official G1 like they didn't start calling it the G1 until like '91, and that's when Toshiro Chono, Keiji Muto, Tetsuya Fujinami, and Shinya Hashimoto were in it. But that's also they made that because they had Scott Norton, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Big Van Vader, who was like dominating in Japan at that point.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's get some local guys to shut these guys down. Damn. So that's when the G1 really started, was because they had like all those top name gaijin coming in, these big brutal guys. Scott Norton, by the way, nicest dude. I met him once, and I talked to him on Twitter and Facebook, like his actual Facebook. He's actually like interacts with me. Nicest guy. But it's like, and of course that's how the legend of like of Chono, Hashimoto, and Muto came about, like the Three Musketeers, because they were kind of like the saviors of New Japan. But it's like if WWE did that. That would be amazing. I would absolutely be back in 100% if they did like a G1 type tournament. I would call them out, but I wouldn't even be all that mad and say you're clearly copying the New Japan. Like you're clearly copying New Japan. However, I will allow it for this.
On some level, everyone copies each other, right? That's just how it happens.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Ring of Honor back in the day when they first started had the round robin challenge, which was Bryan Danielson, Christopher Daniels, and Low Ki, and it was just those three, and those matches went over, and of course it ended in a dead draw, which was hilarious. But but no, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that kind of thing. You know, and everyone's like, well, you know, it's not a real tournament. Well, it's wrestling. I don't care. I want to see the matches. I don't care. I don't care about who they already booked to win. It's Roman Reigns. Let's just call it now. It's Roman Reigns. Book it anyway. And besides, this Roman Reigns winning a tournament, I would appreciate.
Yeah. But I would just love to see him lose one of the tournament matches on the road.
That'd be amazing.
That would be pretty crazy.
That would be a hell of a setup in the future. You know, so.
See, now I know for a fact that I bet Chase Owens is getting the next title shot, Tanahashi, for the U.S. belt. Because it's so bad that I know how New Japan booking works now. It's like the second I heard that, I was like, oh, he's number one contender for the U.S. title. I said that in my mind so fast. I said out loud, I need help. I cannot believe so quickly I deduced that. I didn't even look at the picture and see the result good before I was like, oh, he's number one contender for the U.S. title. I was like, I need help. Someone needs to stop me. I need to be cut off from New Japan World because I figured that out too quickly.
Too late.
Yeah.
It is. It's really too late. It really is.
All right.
Not wrong. Because everyone who beat Shingo Takagi, he's got a face on the way to the Wrestle Kingdom.
I'm going to spend my 1 minute kind of fantasy booking here a little bit. And I'm going to focus a lot on maybe a clue that we might be getting on some fantasy booking based on the draft results. I'm going to mention one draft result. And that is the top 2 men's picks for SmackDown. Obviously, they took Roman Reigns because he has the title, for crying out loud. And the second draft pick was Drew McIntyre, coming over from Raw. Now, we know WrestleMania is in LA. So, McIntyre potentially winning the title there.
No, WrestleMania's in Dallas. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's in Dallas. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Next year's in LA.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Super Bowl for some reason.
The following year, right?
Yeah. WrestleMania is in Dallas. Granted, people will all be excited to see Drew win there, but I don't think it's going to happen. But people have been clamoring for this for a long time. Can we get SummerSlam in London? Can we get it at an outdoor stadium somewhere in the UK and have Drew beat Roman Reigns on his home soil?
You follow Cultaholic now that I talk about him all the time, don't you?
No, I didn't. Is that seriously what they talked about?
There's a rumor about 2022.
Ooh, okay. Well, then I know people have been clamoring for this since, borders are back up and opening. Things are starting to look better. NXT UK is doing pretty good, I think. But I thought, God, that we've seen like the anniversary of the big shows that they used to always do, the big pay-per-views. I would love to see a major pay-per-view. It doesn't have to be WrestleMania, but it could be SummerSlam, especially what you gave us in Vegas. Do it there. Have Drew McIntyre beat Roman Reigns there. That would be amazing. And I think this is your way to get into that. And be honest with you, I wouldn't mind a pay-per-view starting at like noon my time because it's a 6-hour time difference. And it'd be a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon in the summer and then still get the kids to bed early because they got to go to school the next day. So
I would like to point out how we are all clearly getting older, how we were like, Mao, that 7 o'clock shows are great and all, but how great would it be?
I'm just saying it would be nice to actually barbecue in the middle of the day and still have time to clean up.
I love this podcast.
Yeah. Sorry. Maybe even then, if that happens, we can react to it immediately after.
I'm looking at the clock. Come on.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
But,
so yeah.
I mean,
no, that popped up. I had no idea Cultaholic was talking about it. To be honest with you,
I just saw that earlier this week that there is a rumor because apparently what WWE wants to do is some more open venue shows because that tends to make the COVID thing easier when it's open arenas or stadiums and stuff. So they're looking to do more bigger stadium shows because of that.
Yeah.
And there is a rumor going that they're trying to get because I think it's the anniversary of the Hitman. It's some anniversary, I think.
Hitman and Bulldog probably like 20 milestone 25, 30, whatever.
Almost 30 years. I think next year will be 30.
That would be 30 years since then.
Right, because next year it was in '92, right?
God, that would be 30 years since then.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it's promising because even this weekend, the NFL's returning to London. There's going to be an early morning game at least for us. I want to say it's Jets at Atlanta, but it's going to be in London. So after
It's coming home. That's wrong.
So yeah, I'd love to see. I think it'd be something cool, and it'd be a great moment, and it would make the most sense to have McIntyre win it there, and you still give Roman Reigns that long run.
Now I want to watch Bret Hart and the British Bulldog at London. I'm gonna have to find that match right now and watch it because that's all I can think about.
I don't know if I want to say this. We think of it as a classic, right? As this, and Bulldog. But apparently, there's a story that Bulldog was like in pretty bad shape.
Because Bret Hart himself confirmed that. He said I had to talk him through most of the match.
Right. Okay.
And I laughed so hard. I was like, that match is such a classic. That man talked an inebriated man through a match.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's what's going on this weekend on Impact Plus. The Impact Knockouts Knockdown, Saturday, October 9th at 7 p.m. Central Time, taking place in the Skyway Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Of course, it's going to be exclusively on Impact Plus. Now, if you don't get to see it live when it does broadcast on Impact Plus, you can go back and watch it on demand as long as you keep your Impact Plus subscription. Shout out to Impact for doing this. They're getting more and more shows on Impact Plus. I don't know what they have scheduled after this, but it's going pretty well. I don't even mind that they're pre-taped. But, this one I think was one of the first pre-taped Impact Plus events with fans in attendance, by the way. So you will see some fans there. There might be some spoilers online. Try to avoid it at all costs if you want to be surprised.
I've avoided them this far, so
yeah. Me too.
I gotta stay off Cage Match.
Yeah. And stay tuned to
around it.
Be sure you watch Impact this Thursday either on Twitch or Access TV. They should hopefully give us a clue or at least announce who's going to be in the Monsters Ball match. Nice. Knowing Impact, do y'all think it's going to be 1-on-1 or 3 or 4 or 5? How many people do you think it's going to be?
I'd say it might be 3 or 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, either a 3-way or a 4.
Kind of like the first Monsters Ball. What was it? Rhino, Jeff Hardy, Sabu, and
Monty Brown, I think, was one of the first Monsters Ball. Wasn't it Monty Brown?
He might have been one of the first King. Been one of the first King of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
King of the Mountain.
King of the Mountain.
The Mountain. Duh.
Yeah. No, it's okay. No, I think Harley Race.
Oh, you're right. The first one was Monty Brown, Raven, and Abyss. I'm thinking of the second Monsters Ball, which was Rhino, Abyss, Sabu, and Jeff Hardy. But yeah, the first one was Monty Brown, Raven, and Abyss. You're right.
Yeah. Look at JC with his old TNA knowledge.
My Impact history, right? So, So I'm looking forward to it. I really hope they do the whole. They've been awake for 24 hours in a confined room. Have them all come out breaking out of straight jackets. That was the best part.
Yeah, I don't care whether it was true or not. I didn't give a damn. The storytelling of that one was my favorite part of that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us. You were able to join us live, and if you're joining us afterward, we appreciate it. Again, if you have any memories of Jacob Ladder, please share them with us. You can tweet them also at us at ccg_WrestleCast. We do have an email, ccg.wrestlecast@gmail.com. If you're not comfortable sharing it publicly, by all means, we'll protect your anonymity. You can email them to us there, and maybe we can read them when we talk next week. Next week, we're going to recap Impact Knockouts Knockdown. It's sure to be a fun night. 9 matches. We'll talk about the event, any other wrestling news that does come out, and the following week we'll get into Crown Jewel and Bound for Glory. Kind of a double shot that weekend. So that's...
Blood Money and Bound for Glory.
I knew someone was going to say it.
I was resisting it so bad because I'm interested, but I also don't care.
Okay. Thanks everyone for joining us. We do appreciate it. Over here we got Tommy.
Guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.